What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to talk about what's going on with the overall market, what just happened with SPY for today, and how things are looking from a technical standpoint. But before I do anything like this, talk about SPY, Tesla, and a couple of tickers out there. Let me just mention a couple of things. I'm firstly not a financial planner, so make sure you take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends in just 7 days, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, guys, looking at the market, I just want to break down something very interesting that happened. So we were basically talking about a lot of the things going on with SPY and the market, as the whole market is red right now. But what's interesting is we're starting to see the market rebound after getting a bounce off critical support. So I'm going to break down how this really played out. So the news came out in the morning that a lot of these banks got these downgrades, and as a result of the downgrades, the whole market came down. The market continued to sink after getting a rejection very close to our 20 EMA. We were talking about this 448 test, and we're going to see if this thing can break or not. This thing ended up failing to break our EMAs, failing to break the 448 resistance. That was the exact level we were talking about, and it got this rejection. So the market started selling off more and more and more. And finally, on 445 is where it bounced. Now, where it bounced was really hard to predict, but what we could have done was look in real time on a much smaller time frame. And what you would have noticed is this: we basically formed on the 5-minute time frame an inverse head and shoulders. Very beautiful looking setup right here. You can see we had a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, and then the market started pumping right back up. So what basically happened was, when the market opened, we had a huge drop in very little time. And the algorithms, the robots controlling the markets, the ones that are like buying the market up, dropping the market, they see an imbalance in the flow. And what they tend to do is they try to match these levels back to bring back that balance. And they're attracted to pumping the market back to the previous level right over here. So this is why we talk about imbalances getting filled. That's one way you could describe it. And it also has to do with psychology. A lot of buyers do like to step in when looking at informations like this. And it looks to me like we're currently trying to fight this 447 resistance. And if we do manage to break it, which I think we're going to try to do, we're going to be watching our 5-minute 200 EMA at 447.95. This chart looks more bullish. It looks like the market's trying to make a comeback, trying to bounce back for now. But first, let's see if we could break this resistance very close to this 447 area. This is actually at the 30 minutes, 20 EMA right over here. We're trying to fight for this. I think we're going to eventually break it, but this is what's basically fighting right now. And that's currently right over here in the 447 area. So that's what we're basically watching for. And then in terms of data, I just wanted to mention that the economic optimism report came out a little bit lower than expected. So this was a little bit more bearish news. This contributed to why the market sold off a bit more. The economic optimism did drop a little bit more, as there are some fears about inflation going up and the recession still coming. So this is still existent. Not the best thing that the market wanted to see, but it's okay, because now that a lot of the selling is done, the market's making an attempt to rebound. And just as a reminder, for Thursday, we have CPI coming out, and that's going to be very fun to watch. It's going to be very telling. Finally, this is what the setup looked like on TradingView. Once again, we had this ascending wedge pattern. It didn't really play out until I would say during the pre-markets today. And we didn't really get the break to the upside like what we were talking about as a possibility. We actually got the break to the downside, and that is what confirmed the big drop. And that's why I talked about this in the morning. We got the drop, and now the market is making an attempt to rebound. So don't forget to watch this, big red bar right over here. Market is looking at this, and it is being attracted to try to get to that level. So anyways, looking at the market, I want to break down something important. So on SPY, you're going to be watching our resistance levels. So far, the market's trying to rebound. This is happening like market wide, I believe. So very close to this 447.4 area. Basically, the very low to mid 447s are acting as a resistance zone. And then if we do break above that, right, 448 comes next at the 200 EMA. Break that, then 448.5 is a possibility. And for support, you're going to be watching 447 flat, and then we have 446.76. So these are some levels to watch for, at least just based off scalping and trying to look at support and resistance. To add on to this, let me just mention that Tesla is also getting a comeback. Tesla came down to our target, very close to it. I was talking about Tesla coming down to the mid 240s, We came down to them in the morning. Then Tesla got a nice bounce before coming right back down. So very volatile moves by Tesla. And now Tesla's making an attempt to test 250. It's trying, it's pushing. We're going to be watching to see if Tesla could break this with the market. It looks like it's getting very, very tight. So you could draw like a wedge right here. So I could basically hide these. Actually, let me just do this on TradingView. I think it's going to be easier to see. But basically for Tesla, it's making an attempt to form a wedge. So we're going to be looking for a big move. Maybe some big news is about to come out or not, but it looks like Tesla's trying to rebound a little bit. So we could just draw this out as a wedge if you wanted to, maybe on like the 5-minute time frame, just like this. So as you can see, it's getting tight. So a big move should be coming on Tesla very, very soon. It may break to the upside in an attempt to bounce. There's a possibility of that, but we'll just have to see which way it ends up breaking. This is just like a really rough looking wedge I have for you. So this is what it looks like on Tesla, right? Getting very, very tight, testing support and resistance. And we will see which way Tesla breaks. To me, it looks like could be the upside as the market's trying to hold up, but this really depends on a lot of different factors. We'll have to wait and see on that. But for now, this is what Tesla's looking like. And besides that, Tesla's getting tight, so be prepared for more volatility to come later on. Aapl, same thing with Aapl. It's forming like a wedge, getting very, very tight. We're expecting a big move in the market very soon, maybe during power hour or maybe a little bit before that. If it breaks 179.48, I'm going to be looking for a push to about this 180 resistance, which could help the market pump a little bit. And for support, it has some nice support right here at 178.89 and then 178.74. Those are two support zones on Aapl. If each of those break, you're going to be watching it come all the way down to the mid 178s, if not 178 flat. So that's what Apple's looking like so far. Our triple Q came down to 368, very close to our support, 368. It actually bounced off 368.8, so a little bit higher than that. From the nice double bottom like formation, is trying to push up now. It's a little weaker than SPY, but it's fighting resistance right about here. So you're going to be watching this resistance very close to where the previous high was, around 370.5 to 370.6 around here. So we're going to be watching that. If it manages to break above these levels, gets all the way up to like 371 and just keeps going, we could see this easily try to start filling these imbalances and push up to like 372 or so. That is one possibility because this is looking like an accumulation and also like an inverse head and shoulders. So this is a possibility, right? We have a head, a left shoulder, and a right shoulder possibly forming. But if we do end up breaking below like 369.5 or so, then I'd be concerned about this. There's no guarantee this will play out since the triple Q is not looking insanely strong. But there's a possibility that it's going to hold as long as it holds these levels, as long as it holds very close to this range right here. As it's getting tighter, there's a good chance it's going to try to bounce and start pushing up. I'm leaning more in that direction with this setup. That's going to try to push up and form like a cup and handle. So it looks more bullish than bearish, but I just want to warn you, you need to see it hold just to be safe because the triple Q is not looking as strong as SPY for now. Then for Nvda did something similar to what we were predicting. All I told you guys was because of how the market performs, this could lead Nvidia to dropping, but we're going to be watching the range that Nvidia has been in, basically this like 444 area to 456. It basically came a little bit below that, hitting 440 flat and then trying to bounce. So very close to this range that's been stuck in for quite some time. And now the real question is, will Nvidia remain in the range? Will Nvidia end up breaking out? And it really depends on the market. I think there's a good chance Nvidia is going to try to hold up for the time being. And we're going to be testing our resistance very close to this 445 area. So this is acting as resistance now, previous support. If we could break above this and get back up, I'm going to be watching 447.4 and then like 450 at some very, very tight levels. There's a good chance 450 could come if the market gets that bounce, especially the triple Q. We need the NASDAQ to help it out in a way. The NASDAQ and the whole tech sector needs to bounce a little bit more to help Nvidia pump to about 450. It's looking a little weak right now, however. This could be a potential flag that's forming. I could be seeing that possibly. So for support, you're going to be watching this 440 area. And, if that fails for us, then the next very strong support is going to be around this like 436 to 433 area. And unfortunately, it's looking a little weak right now. So it really depends on the market. This could be like a distribution forming as well. And there's a bearish case that could be made about it like breaking down. But like I said before, I'm going to be watching this on a levels level basis if it ends up breaking below 440, then that's gonna sink this thing all the way down to these low like 430 levels I was talking about. This looking a little weak, a little bit more bearish, I would say, compared to the market, but there's always a possibility of it trying to invalidate those signals and trying to push up because of the QQQ and the market trying to rebound. So we're going to be watching to see if that could happen. But for now, let's just wait and see how Nvidia does. Let's just see how it reacts to its resistance, if it could try to break out or not. It is looking a little bit weaker, but we'll just wait and see from here. With that said, looking forward at Meta. Meta is also not looking that great. It's in its range right now, kind of stuck in its range. It got this like nice pump in the very start of the day before coming right back down to 310. If 310 fails us, and this is a very tight range, I know it's not the most fun to trade. 310 fails us, we're going to be watching 307 and beyond that. For now, it's kind of like stuck between 313, about 310, going back and forth and back and forth. It's going to be testing 313, then 314.13 and 316 as the resistance levels. We're still stuck right now, so we're just going to watch it. Amazon came down to our target in the 139 area. It actually approached 138 as well. So Amazon's looking a little weaker. We're going to be watching it try to hold support, though. I think it's going to hold up. I don't see it like dropping that hard. And look, it actually rejected off the 20 EMA on the 30 minutes time frame. This is where resistance was. That's one way to look at it. And for now, this is how the market's looking. So some stocks are looking kind of sideways. SPY is trying to test this resistance, trying to make a rebound. But the question is, can we break our 20 EMA, or is it going to take a little bit longer? So are we going to like come down first and then try to break out, or are we just going to like hold it for the time being, just range trade and then see a breakout during the after hours or going into tomorrow? That's going to be the question. We'll have to wait and see on it. But so far, it's trying to hold around these levels. We're just going to be watching support and resistance and do what we can to be as unbiased as possible. All right, so with that said, thank you all so much for listening. Please have an absolutely spectacular rest of the day. And don't forget about the Weeble link. Offer ends in a week. I appreciate everyone. Watch your charts very carefully and let the charts tell you what's most likely going to happen. And always be prepared to manage risks, not financial advice. All right, have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys very soon. Market to the moon as the long term is still incredibly bright. And peace out.